You walk the length of the open plan floor, and one by one, the browser tabs flick shut. A screen jumps back to a spreadsheet half a second too fast. Someone turns their phone face down. Nothing's wrong, exactly. But the AI tool your company paid good money for, the one with the launch email and the lunchtime training, shows almost no logins this week. And half the floor just minimized something when you walked past. You already know what was in that tab. It was a chatbot. So here's the odd part, the thing that doesn't quite add up. The tool you rolled out sits there, empty. The dashboard you check says adoption is nearly zero, and yet the work is still getting done. The drafts still land in your inbox, the summaries still appear. On paper, you did everything right. You bought the tool, you ran the session, you ticked the box. So why does it feel like nothing's happening when clearly something is? Now, the reflex here is an old one. Someone's breaking the rules, and you should probably have a quiet word. Some people even have a name for it, shadow AI, which makes it sound like a security breach. Resist that door for a second, because it's the wrong one. What you're actually looking at isn't a discipline problem. It's the single most useful piece of information you have about your team, and it cost you nothing. Here's the mental model. Your team hasn't refused AI. They've chosen a different AI. That's a completely different thing. Refusing would mean the work grinds and the tool sits idle because nobody wants it. That's not what's happening on your floor. The work is flying along, powered by AI, just not the one with your company's logo on the login page. And that gap between the tool you bought and the tool they actually reach for isn't a leak to plug. It's a signal to read. And it's not a handful of rebels. Across Australian workplaces, about 2 in 3 of us now use AI at work. But of the people who do, more than half are using tools their employer never provided or approved. That's not a fringe. That's the mainstream reaching around the official option for something that fits their hands better. They're on ChatGPT in a browser tab, or Claude for the longer, messier jobs, or Gemini because it's already sitting inside the email they live in. Some are even on DeepSeek. A crackdown can't see any of that. It just makes the tabs close faster. They reach around it because the official tool doesn't fit the work in front of them, not because they won't use it. Picture a real one. A marketing team in Melbourne gets handed a shiny enterprise AI tool, the kind that comes with a rollout plan and a laminated quick start guide. Weeks later, the copywriters are quietly drafting in ChatGPT anyway, and one of them swears by Claude for the long client briefs, because that's the tool she learned on, and it fits how she thinks. Their lead could have sent the stern email. Instead, she asked one question. Why those two, and not ours? And the answer was almost boring. The official tool was buried 3 menus deep, and nobody had ever set it up for actual drafting. It wasn't defiance, it was friction. The team had voted with their fingers, and the vote was about design, not loyalty. So, now you can tell something you couldn't before. That near-empty dashboard was never a report card on your team. It was a report card on the tool, and on how it was rolled out. When you stop reading the gap as people misbehaving and start reading it as people telling you what they need, the whole thing flips. Every tab that closes when you walk past is a line item on a shopping list you didn't know you had. Which points to one small thing you can do this week. Ask your team a single question and strip every consequence out of it first, so the honest answer is safe to give. When you use an AI tool that isn't the official one, what are you using it for? That's it. Not who, not how often, not a spot check, just what for. And when the answers come back, treat them as a shopping list, not a confession. Then pick the job that comes up most and make the official tool good at that one thing first, the way that Melbourne Lead finally set hers up for drafting. Only about 1 in 5 Australian employees stick to the approved tool and nothing else, so the answers are out there. They'll come once people trust that saying them costs nothing. So next time you cross the floor and the tabs flick shut, you'll see something different. Not a rule being broken, a recommendation being made. The empty dashboard stops being the thing that keeps you up and becomes the clearest map you've got of what your team actually needs to do their work. You didn't lose the adoption battle. You were just reading the scoreboard upside down. If this is the kind of thing you'd like made plain, follow along. There's a new one every few days. And if it helped, a quick thumbs up quietly points it toward the next team leader staring at an empty dashboard.